All right, what is up, everyone? Welcome to Sporter Kings. My name is Tim Creamer. I'm with Brandman Brandon, Brian the Grizzly, and we are going to talk about the Iron Claw. Giving our review finally. Ah, man, it took us a while to get over it
Yeah, I had to wipe the
emotionally.
tears, man.
Wipe our tears. Every time we talk about it, we start crying. But yeah, so Brian, you got a synopsis for what this movie is about?
Of course, let's go. Said the true story of the inseparable Von Erich brothers who make history in the intensity competitive world of professional wrestling in the early 1980s. Through tragedy and triumph under the shadow of their domineering father and coach, the brothers seek larger than life immortality on the biggest stage in sports.
Mm,
Said a father, and
sports
all of a
over.
sudden a tear almost came out.
This movie, you want rage. Think
Oh,
about father. So we're gonna get into our ratings. We're gonna get into our bads and our goods. We're gonna start off with some of our goods. Brandman, what did you like about this one?
First and foremost, the acting was really, really good. Um, just around the table, Zach Efron was crushing it. Jeremy Allen White was absolutely crushing it too. Harris Dickerson, who played David Von Erich. I think it's like Stanley Simons or Stanley Simonson who played Mike Von Erich. I forgot his exact name. Holt McCallany
Right.
as Fritz Von Erich. But yeah, I like that it captured it really, and this made it all the more impactful when of course, the Von Erich brothers, pass away, unfortunately. It really captured the love and affection between all four of them, which I really really appreciated. I thought the wrestling sequences and just the vibe from the late '70s, early '80s was handled pretty well too. Um, and when the bad stuff hit, man, like it was really, really effective. Like, man, like those parts were tough to watch. And usually I do pretty good, and I was keeping it together most of the movie. Even the scene with them going into the afterlife, I know a lot of people have kind of criticized that scene, but I
Mhm.
think it was pretty good to do that because the Von Erich family is mostly defined in history through this tragedy. So that was kind of like a happy ending for them, I guess, of
Mhm.
sorts. But yeah, I thought it was very well put together. It's a very well put together movie that I don't think I could handle a second time. But they did good.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
What about you, Brian?
goods. The acting was amazing. The story overall was good. Um, I have some bads, but it has mostly to do with the wrestling part of it. But
Mhm.
as far as just they did such a good job with acting and making you feel and connecting with the characters. Con- Look, I mean, they really got me on, you know, caring about these characters and then watching them self-destruct and their father's such a dick. And
Hmm.
and even though you know the story, seeing it live was hard. It was really hard to watch, but it was something that's hard to watch but really good and almost therapeutic to watch it. It was it's a combination of so many things going through my mind, but it was I enjoyed watching it because I kind of, not that I lived through it, but I know the story,
Hmm.
Mhm.
and I enjoyed their telling. I enjoyed seeing the characters and all this stuff. But yeah, I want to get to the bad part too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Yeah, yeah. For me, obviously the acting between Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White, just all of them. Lily
All
James,
over you.
just great, great freaking acting. So I'm not gonna go too much into that. But I even thought the shots were really great. I thought the way a lot of it was shot was good. There's the certain parts where they kind of like zoom in at a weird kind of angle.
Mhm.
Where one character is kind of like having a breakdown a little bit. Um, so I thought the shot was great, and the best thing about this movie is it knows how to get you right in the feelings, and it gets you
Mhm.
quick. They get you quick in the feelings because at first the feeling is joy and it's brotherly love, it's family love,
Yep.
it's these guys love being with each other and they love each
Mhm.
other, and as a family should, and they were legit like a very loving family, and then things
Mhm.
happen and it's an emotional ride, so yeah, yeah, but that is by far the best thing. The director, who's the director? Sean Durkin.
Mhm.
Um, boy, yeah, yeah, he gets you. He rips out
Mhm.
your heart and plays with it and crams it back in. But yeah, yeah. But cool. What about some negatives? What didn't you like about this one, Brandon?
Kind of like we touched on earlier, the removal of the other Von Erich brother, Chris.
Chris?
They could have included him. I'm not sure why they axed him, other than the director kind of saying, it would have been too emotional and too sad. And I've heard a lot of things like, dude, this movie already has four siblings dying in different instances. So you're already going all in. Like, go all in. You know,
Mm,
I also think that some of it, especially towards the end, and if you're familiar with how the Von Erichs died, that sort of thing, um, some of it felt kind of cliche, kind of Hollywoodized, particularly
mm,
with Kevin Von Erich arriving, just in time to hear his brother shoot himself when um, according to articles and that sort of thing, it happened differently. They say Fritz von Erich found his body,
Mhm.
not Kevin. So there's some kind of some Hollywood standard Hollywood tropes that were put in there for good measure. I'd say those are my top two, and yeah, I think that's about it.
yeah.
Mm.
What are you, Brian?
Um, I had a few things actually. So yeah, I knew they basically combined two of the brothers together in the deaths and all that stuff. So I knew that was going to happen. Um, the dude that they had playing Ric Flair was awful.
Yeah, he
One
was
of
pretty
mine.
bad.
Who do I have here? Where is it? Aaron Dean Eisenberg.
I was like,
Mhm.
dude, really, guys? Ric Flair is one of the most iconic characters that has ever been in wrestling. If you don't know woo, then you don't know nothing, right? So what I was like, this is what you chose? This is he don't look anything like Ric Flair. This is awful. The acting was bad. Everything was so bad with that. Um, I also thought the wrestling I thought it would be a little bit more prevalent in the movie.
Mm,
And it
Mhm.
really wasn't about the wrestling, and they
yeah.
didn't really focus on the wrestling at all. Like at all. It was not. If you know wrestling, you think that would be important because they were good showmen and show what the Von Erichs were and all that stuff, and that's not what you got. It was
Hmm.
not about the wrestling. It was more about the family and understanding the
Mhm.
the big picture. But if you going in looking for a wrestling movie, that's not necessarily what we got. Um, I didn't like the fact that I was crying all the time, man. It was it was so much, but so that's why I understood why they didn't, just have just I don't want to say suicide scene, but it's just showing up that I understand why they chose not to do it. I thought that it could have been a lot
Hmm.
for some people, some audiences. So and but that final those final 10 minutes, I'm telling you,
Mhm.
like Marley, me like just tears coming out here, coming out eyes. The bad part, I literally says, I don't know if I want to watch this again.
Mm,
That's my bad. Like I don't know if I want to watch it again. Not that it wasn't good or anything like that. It was excellent,
Mhm.
but I don't know if I want to deal with that again. Be that emotional
yeah,
again.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
don't like that.
understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's not a feeling you want often. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It is a feeling that at the end of the movie, like I think you're glad you watched it, but it's not a feeling you want to have multiple times.
Mhm.
It is a almost like therapeutic. Like like once was good. You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
But anything else?
Nope. That's where I'm
That's
at
it.
right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say
Um,
that's about it.
Okay, so yeah. So for me, I'm not gonna repeat too much of what you guys said, but I do part of me does wish they would have put Chris in, like Brandon said, because it feels a little disrespectful to him to not put his strategy in the story. But
Mhm.
I also I get why they didn't. It was already a lot. You can do another what 30 minutes of the movie, just to put him in it and then kill him off, literally, it would have been really really heartbreaking. But with the changes they made, the Hollywood stuff was okay. Like this was a movie about Kevin Von Erich more than
Mhm.
it is about the Von Erichs.
Yeah.
It's really about Kevin, which is Zac Efron's character. He was the main character, and it seemed like everything was told kind of through his point of view, um,
Yeah.
which was good. But I do wish some other things, and then I do wish some other characters would have had some a little bit more from their sides. But I get it. No,
Mhm.
it's not the best way to tell a story. And definitely agree with that Ric Flair. Holy man, it felt like a guy, and no, no disrespect to Aaron Dean Eisenberg, but it felt like he never watched Ric Flair ever in his life.
Exactly. You
Mhm.
have no idea who Ric Flair is, do you? I mean,
His,
come on. He's the
his
most
woo,
iconic, dude. Like, what are you doing?
his woos were just not. They
Uh,
just didn't have it. Didn't have the Ric Flair woo. Actually, I think I have like a it didn't feel. It's just something was off. Something was off
mhm.
about it, and
Yeah, it just wasn't good. It was like someone who never saw Ric Flair woo at all, or never
yeah,
saw how Hollywood he really was. You
yeah.
you have no the
There you go.
electricity was
Beat a
missed.
man. You gotta beat the man. Woo! That wasn't it. That wasn't it. Like his woo wasn't where whoa. It was just like woo, yeah,
Yeah,
Rolex. It was like what?
sure was.
What? Like you need to be that person if you're gonna be Ric Flair. Then you better be Ric Flair. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I was kind of like a little disappointed in that one. But the one that kind of bugged me the most that you guys didn't bring up was the time jumps. There were some
Yeah.
some time jumps that
Mhm.
seemed a little off-putting. Like there's one part, it's Christmas. It's Christmas. Carrie's like, oh, I'm gonna be in Mexico. We're going to Mexico, for Christmas. And then the next scene is like Carrie calling Kevin, like, oh man, I don't know, this shit's crazy. But I'm like, wait, is he in Mexico? Is he not in Mexico? Like, what time frame are we in? Because it skipped, and I'm like, how much time has passed? And maybe I don't know,
Mhm.
maybe I missed it or something because freaking water in my eyes the whole time. But there's and that wasn't the only time. There's other times where there was some time jumps, and it felt awkward. Like it didn't feel
Mhm.
bad, it didn't feel good. It just like wait, like it took a second to regather how you
Wait, what
felt.
happened?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, oh, okay, this is what we're doing now. Okay, I get it. And it kind of like that's not always the best for me at least. Um, but yeah, that was the one thing you guys didn't say that I was kind of like really like, huh, that's awkward.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But cool. You guys any good or bad that you might have missed? You want to bring up?
I mean, just
I
besides
think.
No.
the wrestling was just not
Yeah.
good, but that was it.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
that wasn't the focus.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So real quick, we get some Mama Bear said, ironically, the one that's we already said that one. Never mind. She said Atonement is one of those truly excellent movies that we can rewatch a second time because it wrecked me. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This one wrecked me. This one wrecked me. So let's get into our ratings for the Iron Claw. Now, later, never. Now means go watch it right now. Go to theaters before it's ruined. It's worth it. Later means you wait till it's at home streaming, and never means just skip it altogether. Brandon, what do you give an Iron Claw?
Mhm. Um, if you go see this movie in theaters, you need to be ready, I think. Um, and I'm just not quite sure a lot of people are. So I'd say later.
Mm,
Great movie. just from an emotional standpoint, I hope you know what you're getting yourself into. Um, actually, scratch that. No, I'll make it a now. I'm sorry. I'm going to change this to a now. Just know what you're getting yourself into. It's a great movie. It's very like just well acted and just well executed. Um, just just be ready for the feel bad movie of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Bring your tissues. All right.
yeah.
Brian, what you giving it?
So do I feel like this movie has to be watched in the movie theaters? No.
Mm,
I think that
Mhm,
you want to see it. It might even be more better in a more intimate environment. Um, but I don't know if you need to if you're going to wait that long. Because saying something is later kind of plays on the idea that this movie's not good. And this movie is
mhm,
not just good, it's great. It's a great movie, great acted, great story. If you are wrestling, you know the story. It's really, really like top quality. I just
mhm,
I don't feel like you have to drop everything you're dropping to go watch this movie. So
mhm,
I'm literally going to give it a later while still saying it's a great, great movie that I enjoyed seeing. But I feel
mhm,
like it's better to watch in an intimate environment.
mhm.
That's my reasoning.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I got to give it a now. I gotta give it a now. It's
mhm,
just it is. You need to bring a tissue box. You need to be prepared for what you're gonna watch because it is a very sad, depressing movie. And the way it ends, I wasn't prepared for the way it ended. That's what got me was how it
mhm,
ended. And I was just like, holy shit! Like you know, the scene at the end and then the scene with Zac Efron and his sons at the end was just like
mhm.
back to back with those scenes. And I was just like, holy shit. It was like, this is a
Yep.
lot. This is a lot. Um, but but that's what makes the movie great is like you're going through all these things and you're watching it and then at the end it kind of lets you sit in your emotions. And I think that's what makes this movie great is great story, great ending,
The
great
directing.
acting, and yeah, I gotta give this a now. But I do agree with you guys. It's probably gonna be a better watch at home where you can get
Mhm,
comfy on the couch, snuggle up to your girlfriend or boyfriend and get your tissues ready and just sit and enjoy this very um not fun ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say not fun ride. It is a fun ride, but emotional draining ride. I think that's better.
mhm.
But yeah, but it is great, and I can see some Oscar nods. I
Oh,
don't know if it's
easily.
Oscar winning, maybe it depends, but definitely
Just
Oscar nods.
to
Yeah,
acknowledge the story, acknowledge the great
some of these
acting in it.
acting.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's just, dude, it's a blockbuster that I'm saying you have to go see. If you're a wrestling fan, you want to go see this,
Mhm.
you want to
yeah,
see it, but you can see it at home and probably do better with it.
yeah. Handle it better. Like maybe I don't know, man, because maybe pausing it because you're getting a little too much might throw it off a little bit. I don't know. I
But
don't
you
know,
could be
but
more vulnerable at home and
yeah,
enjoy it.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
so good.
Being surrounded by strangers. Yeah, I 100% agree. So yeah, so that's our thoughts. And then before we end it, on Rotten Tomatoes, we'll give their scores. We got 179 reviews from the critics, give it an 89%, and 1,000 plus verified audience score at a 93%. So they're pretty close to each other, and they're both very high, which is super awesome. But pretty much almost all of the comments are an emotional movie, powerfully emotion, profoundly sad. Like they're all in that realm of
Mhm.
the sad emotion somewhere is the main point. Which is obvious that is the main point of this movie. Oh man. This was a ride. This was a ride. And I thought I was ready for it and wasn't
I wasn't
it wasn't
ready.
wasn't ready. Yeah, it was not. Anything else, guys?
No, it's funny because it's exactly how I thought was going to happen when we saw the trailer. That's exactly what I thought it was going to be. Exactly what it was.
That's
And,
true.
you know, it's like,
That's true.
oh, it's going to rip my heart out, and then it's going to show it to me, and then it's going to throw it away in the garbage.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah. Yeah. And one last comment from Mama Bear said, I'm with Brian on later. So you can be able to fully experience the emotions in a less public setting. It really is. It's a now movie, best seen at home.
yeah,
You know?
exactly what
It's a
it is.
now movie, but as soon as it becomes available at home, I think it's a more enjoyable viewing experience. You know,
That's
I
it.
100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. But cool. Thank you guys for checking out our review. I know we're a little late on this one, but we had to mentally prepare for especially around the holidays. Oh my god, what a
Like, what the
jeez.
hell?
Yeah. But leave a comment. Let us know what you think about Iron Claw. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let us know what you're rating, and now, later, never. Let us know what you think about it. And then make sure you come and join us every Monday and Thursday. We are live. We come and we review movies, TV shows, comic books, trailers, all that fun stuff. So make sure you come and be part of the show. Make sure you hit that like button as well. We appreciate it a lot. But appreciate all you guys coming in, hanging out with us. Appreciate everyone in chat. Mama Bear, appreciate you in chat. And if you're watching live, stick around because we are going to finish things up.